Chapter 5. The Staff of the Patriarchs. Beelzebub, each time more anxious for wisdom, was faithfully and sincerely accomplishing all of the commands which his sinister instructor was giving to him. He knew the course of his seminal currents, and he awoke his kundalini negatively through the procedures of fornication and concentration, as taught by necromancy. The twilight of the cosmic night was extending the velvet of its mysterious wings over the profound valleys and over the enormous and gigantic mountains of ancient Arcadia. The corpulent, millenarian trees, the last offspring from unknown parents, had already seen their autumn leaves falling during many long years, but now they seemed to definitively wither in order to fall into the arms of death. Our current human bodies were in those times resembling human phantoms, and the intimates of our present humanity had already received their more fine vesture. Terrible earthquakes were shaking Arcadia, and everywhere a breath of death was sensed. From the enormous multitude of human beings, two types of creatures were the outcome: angels and demons. The ancient beauty of Beelzebub, the handsome gallant of Arcadia, had disappeared. His body was covered with hair, and he took on the resemblance of a gorilla. His eyes took on the criminal and horrible aspect of a bull. His mouth became gigantic and presented as a snout of a voracious beast with its horrible teeth. His head with an enormous mane, his deformed and gigantic feet and hands gave him the aspect of a horrible, corpulent and enigmatic monster. This was Beelzebub, the enigmatic and handsome gallant of ancient Arcadia. Was this the cup of wisdom from which he had wanted to drink from? In order to reach such horrible monstrosity, did he have to pass all of those sacred initiations in the temple? Was this the nectar of science or the liquor of wisdom which he was longing for? Wisdom, divine treasure, thou burns me with thy fire. When I want to cry, I do not, and if I do, thou consoles me. There was an old woodsman of the country who did not know how to read nor write. He only loved the edge of his axe, yet he felt a longing for life. He was watering the furrows with his tears while feeling love for wisdom. His pale cheeks were smiling when he inebriated himself with love and poetry. "Wisdom, wisdom, wisdom, how much thou burns me!" exclaimed the agonizing elder under the blonde stars. Wisdom, liquor of gods, is a liquor which poisons. Thus, in a very hard way my spirit will come. Terrible, O God of mine, is this torture of waiting. Wisdom, for thee, I raise my cup, since I am tired of crying. Wisdom, to thee I chant my strophes and await within the roses the love that must come. Wisdom, divine treasure, thou bums me with thy fire. When I want to cry, I do not, and if I do, thou consoles me. Thus, the Kundalini awakened in a negative way and converted Beelzebub into a tenebrous potency of nature. During passionate fornication, the black magicians take advantage of the moment of seminal ejaculation by means of mental concentration. This is done in order to exert the ascension of the vitalizing hormones that are segregated by the sexual glands towards the head. Then, with their mind, they take the hormones into the heart, which then sends them towards the fat toe of the right foot. This is how they awake their kundalini in a negative way, and they convert themselves into a monster with 7 heads, which the book of Revelation, Apocalypse, refers to. There exist schools of black yoga in India, which instruct their disciples in that tenebrous science. We can reduce all of the profound studies of occultism into one synthesis: the serpent. If we spill the semen, reach the orgasm, then we convert ourselves into devils, and if we do not spill it, we then convert ourselves into angels. If the serpent ascends, then we are gods, but if the serpent descends, then the tail of the demon is formed in us, and we become demons. The tail of the demon, the Kundartagwader, is a prolongation of the astral counterpart of the coccyx and is the result of the movement of the serpent downwards, towards the earth. The Kundalini is the staff of the patriarchs, the rod of Aaron, the reed of Brahma, and the scepter of the gods. The Gnostic alchemist awakes the Kundalini through the practicing of sexual magic. Thus, the Kundalini ascends through a conduct, which is in a canal called Sushumna. This igneous serpent is thick in those who have accumulated a lot of crystonic substance, semen, but it is thin in those who have not stored a lot of sexual energy. The positive awakening of the Kundalini is accompanied by a great festivity within the temple. Terrible pain is produced in the coccyx. Afterwards, the serpentine fire opens its way upwards towards the head. The passing from one canon into another is performed in accordance with the moral merits of the disciple. These canons are the vertebrae of the spinal column. They are also called pyramids. Any unworthy action takes the Kundalini of that disciple out from one or more canons, in accordance with the magnitude of the fault. There are 33 canons that we must conquer in order to reach the high initiation, that is, the union with the intimate. These 33 canons belong to the 33rd degree of Masonry. They relate also to the 33 years of the life of Christ. Thus, the 33rd degree is only acquired by the masters of major mysteries. The two threes, when united, are the symbol of the union of the matter with the spirit, the perfect circle of eternity, whose center is everywhere and whose circumference is nowhere. The high initiation is performed when the Kundalini has already reached the head, but in order for the Kundalini to triumphantly rise through the 33 canons, it is necessary to practice in detail all of the teachings of the Holy Gospels. In order to reach the high initiation, we must first pass the 9 arcades, that is to say, the 9 initiations of lesser mysteries. All of the powers of the human being are awakened according to the ascension of the serpentine fire through the spinal column, since each canon has its occult name and is related with specific powers. A certain master of major mysteries said that before reaching the high initiation, he had the weakness of falling into a certain fault, therefore his Kundalini descended 4 canons. Consequently, in order to reconquer them again, he had to struggle very much. The ordeals of initiation are extremely severe. The disciple has to follow a perfect, holy, and chaste path. Thus, when reaching the intimate, the human being becomes converted into a master of major mysteries and into a theurgist.